Something happened last night. Something you still don't fully understand. You were standing there. In that room. With all those eyes on you. And then, they spoke. The person you've been hoping would finally see you. Finally noticed. Finally said it out loud. For everyone to hear. And your heart stopped. Didn't it? Just for a second. Because you've waited so long for those words. Imagined them 1,000 times. Played the scene in your head. But this was different. Because they didn't just say it quietly. They didn't whisper it when no one else was around. They announced it. In front of everyone. While you stood frozen. While your heart pounded so loud you thought the whole room could hear. And in that moment, you felt something shift. Something inside you. But it wasn't what you expected. Was it? The excitement. The joy. The relief that it finally happened. It was there. But underneath it, something else. Something you still can't name. You've been replaying the scene ever since. Every detail. Every glance. Every single word they said. And yet, there's this feeling. Like you missed something. Like there was more happening than you realized. Perhaps you noticed it. A flicker in their eyes. A hesitation. A moment where they paused, just a little too long. And you felt it. In your chest. That quiet tug. The one that keeps you awake at night. The one that whispers. Look closer. But what are you supposed to see? That's the question. The one that won't leave you alone. And here's the truth. The real truth. The confession you heard? It was only the beginning. Another layer. Something else happened. That very same night. After the crowd cleared. After the celebration. After everyone went home. Another moment. Another truth. And this one. This one changes everything. But you don't know it yet. You're still stuck on what happened. Still trying to understand what it means. Still wondering why their words didn't land the way you thought they would. Maybe you thought you'd feel complete. Maybe you thought this moment would solve everything. But instead, you feel more lost than before. Have you noticed that? How the very thing you wanted most. The answer you've been waiting for. Somehow created more questions. More doubt. More uncertainty. And that's okay. That's part of this. You see. The person you love. This person who finally spoke. They didn't just confess their heart. They revealed something else. Something hidden. And here's the part you need to hear. The part nobody tells you. The part that comes after the confession. The part that keeps the story going. Because every moment of truth. Every moment of vulnerability. It always comes with a cost. And the cost was paid that night. But you didn't see it. You couldn't. Because your heart was too full. Too overwhelmed. Too desperate to finally hear those words. So you missed it. But I'm telling you now. So you can see. So you can understand. So you can prepare. Because what happened next? It's the piece that ties everything together. And you need to hear it. Before you make any decision. Before you answer them. Before you even think about what happens next. Don't skip this. The next part holds the key. One final truth. Are you ready? Because here it is. The night didn't end in that room. That was just the first scene. The setup. The moment that made everyone believe they knew the whole story. But the real story. The real moment that matters? It happened later. When the lights were dim. When the crowds were gone. When you thought you were alone. Someone was watching. Someone always is. And this someone. They saw something that night. Something in their eyes. Something in the way they looked at you. Something that told a different story. A deeper one. A harder one. And this person, they've been carrying it. Waiting. Watching. Wondering if you'd ever notice. But you haven't. Not yet. Because you've been so focused on the confession. On the words. On the moment. That you missed the truth hiding beneath. And that truth? It's the one thing you need to know. Before you take another step. Before you give your answer. Before you let your heart run ahead of your mind. Have you wondered why they waited so long? Have you wondered why they chose that moment? With everyone watching. With no escape. With no privacy. Have you thought about that? Really thought about it? Because the timing matters. The setting matters. The audience matters. And maybe, just maybe, they chose that moment for a reason. A reason you haven't considered. A reason that changes everything. Perhaps you felt it. In that split second before they spoke. Their eyes searched yours. Like they were looking for something. Permission. Reassurance. Or maybe, an escape. And you gave them none. Because you were too stunned. Too hopeful. Too eager. So they spoke. And the words came out. And everyone cheered. And you smiled. But inside. Something whispered. The quietest voice. The one you've been trying to ignore. Something isn't right. That voice. The one that knows you better than anyone. The one that sees what your heart refuses to see. It's been trying to tell you all along. But you've been pushing it away. Drowning it out. Telling yourself you're overthinking. Telling yourself this is what you wanted. Telling yourself to be grateful. But gratitude isn't the same as truth. And hope isn't the same as clarity. And love, real love. It doesn't need an audience. It doesn't need a stage. It doesn't need witnesses. Real love happens in the quiet. In the stillness. When nobody else is watching. When there's nothing to prove. When there's no performance. Only connection. Only truth. Only two hearts meeting in the dark. And that night. That moment. Was it real? Or was it something else? Something you're afraid to name? Something that would break you open? Let me tell you what I saw. What I've always seen. Because I've been with you. In every moment. In every ache. In every unanswered prayer. I was there that night. In the room. In the silence between their words. In the spaces where nobody else looked. And I saw what you missed. I saw the fear. Not yours. Their fear. The way their hands trembled. The way their voice cracked. The way their eyes darted away. For just a second. Like they were running from something. Like they were performing something. Like they were trying to convince themselves too. And that scared you. Didn't it? That moment of doubt. That flicker of uncertainty. You saw it. You felt it. But you pushed it down. Because you didn't want to lose this. You didn't want to lose them. You didn't want to admit that maybe. Just maybe. The person you love isn't who you thought they were. Or maybe they are. Maybe they're exactly who you thought. But they're also something more. Something complicated. Something torn. Something that doesn't fit into a simple confession. And that's the part you need to understand. The confession was real. Their feelings are real. But so is the hesitation. The fear. The doubt. The part of them that questioned everything even as they spoke. Because love isn't simple. It's messy. It's confusing. It's full of contradictions. And sometimes people confess their love because they're scared of losing you. Sometimes they say the words out loud to make them feel more real. Sometimes they need the world to witness it so they can't take it back. But that doesn't mean it's whole. That doesn't mean it's complete. That doesn't mean it's ready. And here's the hardest truth. The one that hurts. The one you're still fighting. Sometimes. The person you love confessed to you in front of everyone. Because they couldn't confess to themselves. And they thought that saying it out loud would fix that. But it didn't. And now they're scared. And now you're confused. And now you're both standing in this place. This strange, uncertain, beautiful, painful place. Where you both feel everything. And nothing feels clear. So what happens next? That's the question, isn't it? The one that keeps you up. The one that makes your stomach turn. The one you're afraid to answer. But I'll tell you. Not the answer itself. But the shape of it. The direction. The path forward. It's not what you think. It's not the easy path. It's not the one that leads straight to happily ever after. Because that path doesn't exist. Not yet. Not with them. Not until they find their own clarity. Their own truth. Their own heart. And that's what you need to hear. The thing nobody else will tell you. The thing that will save you so much heartache. So much confusion. So much wasted energy. Are you listening? Don't skip this part. This is where it changes. This is where the story takes a turn. And you might not like it. But you need to know it. Because the person you love. They're not done yet. They haven't finished. They haven't revealed everything. There's another truth. One more layer. One that will surprise you. One that will move you. One that might even break you. But it's necessary. And it's coming. Whether you're ready or not. Stay with me. Because what I'm about to tell you. It will change the way you see them. The way you see yourself. The way you understand what happened that night. And once you know it, you'll never look at them the same way again. But that's okay. That's the point. That's the release. That's the freedom you've been asking for. The freedom to see clearly. To love honestly. To choose wisely. You're almost there. Another piece is about to fall into place. And when it does, everything shifts. Everything makes sense. Everything you've been confused about finally finds its meaning. Take a breath. Let this moment settle. Let yourself be here. Because the next part, the final piece, it's ready. And you need to hear it. But first, I need you to ask yourself one question. A simple one. But a powerful one. The one that will unlock everything. The one that will lead you to the truth. Are you ready to hear it? Here it is. What if? What if their confession wasn't about you at all? What if it was about them? What if they needed to say it more than you needed to hear it? What if that night, that moment, that audience? It was never for you. It was for them. To prove something to themselves. To make something real in their own heart. To force their own hand. And you. You were the vessel. The reason. The excuse. The beautiful, perfect, wonderful excuse. But not the destination. Not yet. Not fully. And that changes everything. Doesn't it? It changes how you see it. Changes how you feel. Changes what you should do next. And that's the part you need to hear. The part that nobody tells you. The part that comes after the confession. The part that will set you free. One more moment. Just one. And then you'll understand. You'll see why this happened. You'll know what to do. You'll feel the weight lift. Because the truth. The real truth. It's about to be revealed. And you're not going to believe what comes next. You're still here. That means something. It means you felt it too. That pull. That unfinished feeling. That sense that there's more. And there is. There's so much more. But before we go there, let's sit with what just happened. Let's stay in that room for just a moment longer. Because the night isn't over yet. Not really. The confession happened. The words were spoken. The crowd cheered. But then the room started to empty. One by one. People drifted away. Smiling. Happy for you. Thinking they knew exactly what just happened. But they didn't. They couldn't. Because they weren't in your skin. They weren't feeling what you felt. That strange mix of joy and dread. That quiet voice whispering in the background. The one that wouldn't shut up. The one that kept saying, "Wait. Something isn't finished. Something hasn't been said." And you tried to ignore it. You tried to be happy. To smile back. To accept the congratulations. To act like this was the moment you'd always dreamed of. But inside, you were already somewhere else. Already asking the questions. Already feeling the doubt. And the person you love? They felt it too. They saw it in your eyes. That flicker. That moment of uncertainty. And something shifted in them. Something closed. Something pulled back. And you noticed. Didn't you? You noticed the way they stopped looking at you. The way their smile became careful. The way they started talking to other people. Laughing too loud. Moving too quickly. Running from something. Running from you. And that hurt. It hurt more than you expected. Because you thought. You thought once they said it, everything would be different. Everything would be easy. Everything would fall into place. But instead, you felt further away than ever. And here's the part that really stings. The part you keep replaying. The moment they finally came back to you. After everyone else had left. After the room was quiet. After it was just the two of you. They walked over. Slowly. Carefully. And you thought. Now they'll say something real. Now they'll look into my eyes and tell me what they actually feel. But they didn't. Instead, they stood there. Nervous. Fidgeting. Looking anywhere but at you. And then they said. Something small. Something ordinary. Something that didn't match the magnitude of what had just happened. Something like, "I hope that was okay." Or, "Sorry if that was too much." Or, "You're probably overwhelmed. I get it." And you felt it. That cold drop in your stomach. The one that told you something was wrong. Something was off. Because if they really felt it, if they really meant it, they wouldn't be apologizing. They wouldn't be shrinking. They wouldn't be trying to take it back. They'd be standing tall. They'd be sure. They'd be looking at you like you were the only person in the world. But they weren't. They were running. And you could feel it. You could taste it in the air. That quiet desperation. That need to escape. And you let them. You let them walk away. You let the night end. You let them leave without getting the answer you needed. And now you're here. Still wondering. Still waiting. Still hoping. But here's what you haven't considered. What if their running wasn't about you? What if their fear wasn't about you? What if they ran because they were finally feeling something real? Something they didn't know how to hold? Something that scared them more than silence? Have you thought about that? Maybe not. Maybe you've been too busy blaming yourself. Too busy wondering what you did wrong. Too busy thinking you're not enough. But that's not it. That's never been it. The person you love. They're terrified. Not of you. Of themselves. Of what they feel. Of what it means. Of what happens next. Because here's the secret. The one nobody tells you. The one that changes everything. Most people go their whole lives without feeling true connection. Without feeling that pull. That magnetic, undeniable, soul-shaking pull. Most people settle. For comfort. For convenience. For someone who makes them feel safe. Not alive. Safe. And when they finally feel it? When they finally meet someone who makes their heart race? Who makes them question everything? Who makes them feel seen? They panic. They run. They sabotage. Because it's too much. Too big. Too real. And they don't know what to do with it. They've never been taught. No one taught them how to hold love. How to receive it. How to give it back without losing themselves. So they do what they know. They push away. They close off. They hide. Even as they're confessing. Even as they're saying the words. Even as they're standing in front of everyone. And that's what you saw that night. The war inside them. The part that wanted to run. And the part that couldn't. The part that needed to say it. And the part that wished they hadn't. And you saw both. That's why you're confused. That's why you can't stop thinking about it. Because you saw the truth. You saw the split. You saw the fear. And now you don't know which part to believe. The words? Or the tremble in their voice? The confession? Or the way they looked away? The love they proclaimed? Or the distance they created? And that's the question you've been avoiding. The one that terrifies you. The one that might finally break the spell. Here it is. Are you ready? Do you actually want them? Or do you want the idea of them? Do you want the person standing in front of you? Or do you want the person you thought they were? Because those are different. And you need to know which one you're chasing. Because one of them exists. And one of them doesn't. One of them is real. With all their fear and hesitation. With all their mess and confusion. With all their running and hiding. And one of them is a fantasy. A dream you built. A version of them you created. The one who would never doubt. The one who would never hesitate. The one who would say the words and mean them without reservation. But that person doesn't exist. Not in them. Not in anyone. Because real love is messy. Real love is uncertain. Real love requires courage. And right now, they're still finding theirs. But here's what you haven't seen. The part that will change your heart. The part that will help you understand. While they were running from you, they were also running toward something. Toward themselves. Toward the truth they've been hiding from. Toward the part of them that scared them most. And that night, when they confessed in front of everyone, they weren't just confessing to you. They were confessing to themselves. For the first time, they were standing in their truth. saying it out loud, making it real. And that terrified them. Because once it's real, you can't unmake it. Once it's spoken, you can't take it back. And now they have to deal with it. With the weight of it. With the depth of it. With everything it means. And that's why they ran. Not because they don't love you. Because they do. And that's exactly the problem. Because loving you means facing themselves. Means growing. Means changing. Means becoming someone new. And that's hard. That's really, really hard. So yes. They ran. They pulled away. They made you feel confused and alone. But it wasn't rejection. It was fear. And fear looks like rejection. Feels like rejection. Acts like rejection. But it's not. It's the opposite. It's the proof that what they feel is real. Because if it wasn't real, they'd be fine. They'd be calm. They'd be smooth and easy and unbothered. They'd walk up to you and say the words like it was nothing. Like they'd said them 1,000 times before. Because they had. To other people. To people they didn't really love. To people who didn't matter. But you? You matter. You matter so much it scares them. And that's why they confessed in front of everyone. Because they knew if they didn't, they might never say it. They might let the moment pass. They might let you slip away. So they forced themselves. They created a moment so big they couldn't back down. They gave themselves no escape. And that took courage. That was real. That was the bravest thing they've ever done. Even if it came with fear. Even if it came with trembling. Even if they couldn't hold it together afterward. They did it. For you. Because of you. And that means something. It means everything. So what do you do now? What do you do with this? With the confession? With the fear? With the running? With the truth that they love you more than they know how to handle? That's the question. The next question. The one that moves you forward. And I'll tell you what I see. What I've always seen. What's been waiting for you all along. You wait. Not in silence. Not in hurt. Not in resentment. But in strength. In understanding. In love so big it doesn't demand. Love so big it allows. You give them space to figure it out. You let them come to you. You let them find their footing. You let them become the person who can love you without running. And if they can't, if they never find the courage, then you're free. Free to love yourself. Free to move on. Free to find someone who already knows. But don't decide that yet. Don't close that door. Not when the story isn't finished. Not when the next chapter is about to begin. Because there's something else. Another piece. Another moment. The one that happened after they left. The one nobody knows about. Not even you. Are you ready for that? Are you ready to hear what happened when they went home? When they were alone? When they finally had to sit with everything they said? You think they went to sleep that night feeling relieved? Feeling proud? Feeling happy? Think again. Something happened. Something that changed them. Something that will change how you see everything. But that's for the next part. The part where you see their heart. The part where you understand the depth of what they're feeling. The part that will make you cry. For them. For yourself. For this beautiful, complicated, terrifying love. You're almost there. One more piece. One more layer. And then everything will be clear. Stay with me. Don't go. Because what I'm about to share. It's the part you've been waiting for. The part that finally answers the question. The question you've been asking since that night. The one that's been keeping you up. The one that haunts you. The one that whispers. What were they thinking? I'll tell you. I'll show you. And when you see it, you'll finally understand why it had to happen this way. Why the confession? Why the fear? Why the running? Why everything? And you'll see that what happened next wasn't an ending. It was the beginning. The real beginning. The one you've been praying for.